Now, Iran has said it has once again closed the Strait of Hormuz to commercial vessels, while warning that any ship attempting to enter the key waterway could be targeted next. In a statement, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards have announced that any attempt to approach the Strait of Hormuz will be considered as cooperation with the enemy and will be treated as a target. Iran's parliament speaker and senior negotiator, Mohammad Ghalibaf, has also announced that Tehran remains in control of the strait and restrictions on traffic through the strategic waterway will be reimposed. It was while he was speaking during an interview to Iranian media, he slammed the continued US naval blockade of the strait, calling it foolish and an ignorant decision.
If there is a strait here, we are here, and everyone who wants to go through it, let them all go through except us. Is this even possible? This is also a mistake on top of a mistake. Naturally, I said that if they don't lift the siege, traffic in the strait will definitely be limited, restrictions will come.
Amid these developments, a report in the Wall Street Journal says that the US military is preparing to board and seize Iran-linked oil tankers and commercial ships in international waters. While this would be a significant expansion of the US naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, the report goes on to say that the move is intended to force Iran to reopen the strait and make concessions on its nuclear program, both of which are among the key issues in the ongoing negotiations between the US and the Iranian side. Earlier this week, Tehran had declared the strait open after a ceasefire was agreed between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. In fact, amid the showdown over the Strait of Hormuz, President Donald Trump has said that talks with Iran are still underway. However, he warned Tehran of trying to blackmail Washington. Speaking to reporters at the Oval Office, Trump said that Tehran was trying to get a little cute by trying to close the strait again.
Very good conversations going on. It's working out very well. They got a little cute, as they have been doing for 47 years. And nobody ever took them on. We took them on. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no leaders. They have no nothing. Actually, their leaders it is regime change. You call that enforced regime change. But we're talking to them. They wanted to close up the strait again, as they've been doing for years. And they can't blackmail us.
And to discuss the stalemate between the Iranian and the US side over the ongoing negotiations, we earlier spoke with Dav Zakim from Washington, D.C. He's former Undersecretary of Defense in George W. Bush administration and currently Senior Advisor at Center for Strategic and International Studies. Here's an excerpt of what he had to say a short while ago.
Well, first of all, it's pretty clear. I think the Iranians have made a mistake trying to close the strait again, simply because we, the United States, have the capability to continue this blockade. The blockade hurts Iran. It wrecks its economy. And ultimately, if they start firing at ships, and, they're probably going to do so, we will simply retaliate yet again. I don't think this works out terribly well for the Iranians. I think what they say is pure bluster. Now, of course, Mr. Trump is talking about how talks are going very well. There's no indication of that. The Iranians, of course, say that there aren't really much in the way of talks altogether. So the truth of the matter is you're getting exaggeration on both sides. But at the end of the day, on the waters, I would not bet very heavily on Iran because the United States is not only continuing the blockade, but it's sending more troops there. And there's always the threat that we could seize Karg Island or some of the other islands. Iran is a lot more vulnerable than they're willing to let on. I can understand why they don't want to let on, but the facts are there. They can't, it's undeniable.